All right, hey everybody, Teching 101 here, and welcome back to BAN-KAST. Yeah, that's right, I said I was going to keep making videos on this channel while Bleach was on break. You didn't think I was going to, did ya? Well, here we are. I hope this isn't the only one, but here we are. At least this one will exist. Okay, so, we're going to start talking about stuff that I am personally excited for Cour 4 of the Bleach anime. And I sat down and I thought to myself, what is the first thing that pops into my head about I want to see some cool shit from in the last Cour of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc? What is the first thing that popped in my head? And the first thing was Ryuken and Isshin. Let's hear it for Ryuken and Isshin. Let's hear them. They're daddies. They're out there. They're on the town. I don't know where this is going, but they are out there. They're here at the Varvelt, and they show up at the end of Cour 3, and I just wanted to go back and check this. They don't show up until at the very end of volume 73. Keep in mind, there are 74 volumes of Bleach. Chapter 674, at the very end, they show up at the Varvelt. So that is already when the fight between Ichigo and Yuha has, like, already began at that point. Like, Orihime and Ichigo have already reached Yuha's, throne room, and the fight has begun, okay? So we're not even at that point yet. We're not even at the point where Chad and Ganju have to fight the statues. That hasn't even happened yet, okay? So we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit to showcase Ryuken and Isshin arriving in the Varvelt, which can only mean they're actually gonna do stuff. Because let's walk this back a moment and actually think about the logic here of what goes down in the manga, right? Okay, so Ryuken decides, I gotta drop off this special arrowhead to Uryu. I gotta give it to him, all right? He decides to ask Isshin to go along with him. And Ryuken, he's not way into the Quincy lifestyle anymore. He's got to go into his closet and dust off the old Quincy uniform, right? He's got to put that all on him. He's got to put on the pants and the boots and the mantle. He's got to, have all the cool, like, flair of being a Quincy. He does all of that for the purpose of being a mailman, basically. He takes the key from the Sun Gate that his dad, Soken Ishida, stole from the Sternritters way back in the day. He uses that. Him and Isshin go to the Varvelt. He delivers the arrowhead to Uryu. He tells him, hey, yeah, use that against Yuha. That'll probably win. You should be the one to fire it because it was silver extracted from your mom after the Ausweilen and all that. So good luck, son. He doesn't even say good luck, son. He doesn't even say that. He's just like, good luck, son. I'm always here with you to help you out. No, that's all he does. Isshin doesn't really do anything, and then they leave, I guess, and we don't get to see them after that. It's just, they're gone. They're gone. In fact, I don't even know, do we even see Isshin and Ryuken after that? Like, even in the epilogue, I don't think we see them. My goodness, I don't think we saw Isshin in the epilogue, when Ichigo and Orihime are living at the clinic and everything like that. We don't see that. Oh my god, so yeah, this has to be something that has to be rectified immediately. So let's get right into it. How's this going to go down? All right, so you got the Vizards, right? The Vizards are facing off against Gerald Valkyrie, and this is going to be really epic because that fight, I think, is going to be completely reworked. I'm just going to throw it out there. This is how I want that fight to go, all right? The Vizards start fighting Gerard Valkyrie. We got some of the stuff like in the manga, like Hiyori using the Sero, Hachi using some Kido, Love using his Zanpakuto. They're fighting against Gerard. Gerard gets beaten down a little bit, but his power is kind of bullshit, so he just keeps getting stronger and stronger. No matter what the Vizards are doing, it's just, he might seem like he's down, but he's not out, okay? And the problem is, the Vizards' hollow masks have a very set time limit, okay? So they're beating him down, and then he revives, and it's like, oh man, we're running low on time limit here. And then at that point, Gerard begins to go on the offensive, and he actually manages to take one of them down. I don't know who it would be. Maybe it's Love or Kensei or somebody. He takes one of them down, okay? And then the Vizards are like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do. We're running out of hollow power, and now one of us is taken out. What's going to happen? And then, boom! At that point, that is when Toshiro shows up, as he does in the manga. Toshiro shows up, as well as Rangiku, as well as Byakuya. They're all there, and it's like, okay, we're going to help you. I do not want the Vizards to get curb stomped, and then and only then is when Toshiro shows up. No. I want the Vizards, and I want Toshiro, and I want Byakuya, and I want Kenpachi, and I want Rangiku. Everybody coming together that is there. Hanataro, Ikaku, Yumachika, everybody that's still around gets together. Even Momo. and gets together, and they start fighting Gerard Valkyrie all at once, okay? So you take elements from the manga, you still have Toshiro going into his advanced Bankai, you still have Kenpachi going into his Bankai, you still have Byakuya using the really cool secret technique of Senkei, you have all that still happening, it's just, now you have the visors there as well, okay? And that is looking like it's not working either. Even in that point, like, you see the moment where they blow off the top part of his body and Gerard comes back as a giant light monster. It is at that point that Isshin shows up. I don't know about Ryuken showing up as well, but Isshin definitely needs to be present during that fight, the Gerard Valkyrie fight, okay? We might see his Bankai, we might not. I don't even really care, honestly. I mean, okay, I do. I want to see everybody's Bankai. I mean, even if you want to say Momo's Bankai, it's like, yeah, sure, I could see Momo's Bankai. Why not? Let's see that. I do want to see Love's. Ironically enough, Isshin and Love both have like a fire-based Zanpakuto. So, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see Love and Isshin teaming up and using their fire-themed Bankais. But you know what? I'm not even really concerned about Isshin's Bankai. That'll be really cool to see. It's been hinted at before. I'm sure Kubo has an idea of what it is, but that's not even the point. The point is, Toshiro is there, and now Rangiku is there. Rangiku wasn't even really prevalent in the manga. Toshiro was there. It was also shown Rangiku was in the other pod, so she was there as well. She just didn't show up really during that final battle. We saw her in the last episode next to Hanataro, I believe, and so, yeah, have Hanataro in there too. Hanataro can be healing people. We just keep throwing people at Gerard. Just keep throwing people at Gerald Valkyrie, and they just keep getting knocked back, and we have Hanataro and Hachi in the background using Kido to heal them. Just like, get back in the fight, go, 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 you know, figuring out some way to take this dude down. But Toshiro and Rangiku obviously know Isshin. Isshin used to be the previous captain of Squad 10, so this would be marvelous, marvelous character interaction that we just never got before. There was a question that Kubo got asked on Club Outside a while ago, and it's, remember the moment in the Arrancar arc when, you know, Toshiro and Rangiku and everybody comes in the world of the living to meet Ichigo, and they're all at his house? Like, the question is, well, wouldn't have Toshiro and Rangiku noticed that Isshin lives here? Like, there's pictures all over the wall of Isshin and Masaki and everybody. They would have seen, like, oh, that's what happened to Isshin. Our former captain is now running a small clinic in Karakura Town, right? And so Kubo responds to the question of, yeah, they noticed, they realized that Isshin was Ichigo's dad, and that's where he was living, but they didn't bring anything up because they chose to be like, well, I mean, like, he left for a reason. This was clearly the reason. You know, honestly, what probably would have done it, especially, I don't know if Toshiro would have picked up on this immediately. Rangiku certainly would have. The moment that they walked into Ichigo's house and they saw, like, Isshin and Masaki's wedding picture or something, because you know, Isshin has the giant poster of Masaki forever in his living room, so you know there's, like, the wedding picture somewhere. As soon as Rangiku saw that, she would have been like, oh my goodness, yeah, okay, we understand why he left. We understand what happened, okay? We're not going to bring it up. We're not going to question it. This is clearly the path he chose in life. He's not here, like, against his will or something. This is what he wanted, so we're not even going to bring it up. That's fine. That's actually a really good element there. If maybe it's a little bit of a retcon, not really sure. But the point is, that was a nice moment, and now we can have this moment where Isshin has now decided to go back to being a Shinigami. He's got the Shihakusho, he's got his Zanpakuto back, he even has his captain cloak still, like, tied on his back. So he shows up, and we have some banter back and forth between Rangiku and Toshiro and Isshin there, and that's really what I want to see. I want to see that more than anything, okay? Then we have Ryuken, okay? So Ryuken is still certainly there to deliver the still silver arrow to Uryu. Now, does that mean I want Ryuken to get involved with the Hashwalth fight? Nah, I still want that fight to be reworked. I mean, I think everybody does. But I do not think Ryuken needs to step in there. I think that fight can be handled perfectly fine between Uryu and Hashwalth as long as it's given the time and attention it deserves. One of the major problems with that fight in the manga was that it was never a consistent thing. We kept cutting back and forth between it because we were kind of running out of chapters. So it was never like one chapter dedicated to that fight, and it's really what it needed. So we can probably, when we cut back to Cour 4, we're probably going to have like an entire episode dedicated to just Hashwalth versus Uryu, and I think that's going to fix a lot of the problems there. But yeah, I want Uryu to ultimately defeat Hashwalth under his own power, not having Ryuken, his dad, come and save him again like happened at the beginning of the Arrancar arc. I want him to do that on his own. So that happens, right? That happens there, and then after the fight, you know, Uryu's running off, and then that's when Ryuken shows up. Isshin might not even have to be there, because he served no function. You know, there was really no reason for Isshin to be there, okay? Ryuken could have handled that delivery operation on his fucking own, you know? So, you know, there's that moment where Uryu looks at him and is like, oh, Ryuken and Mr. Kurosaki, what are you doing here? It could be the exact same scene, except it's just, Ryuken, what are you doing here? It's like, I came to give you this arrowhead. Now, you have to go onward. Go to the throne room, find Ichigo, find Yuha, kill him. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to, you know, help in whatever fight is left, okay? And then that's when maybe, at that point, maybe Ryuken can go and help defeat Gerard. Or we could just have Ryuken and Uryu go to the Soul Society together and fight against Yuha. I mean, he killed his fucking wife, and he killed Uryu's mom. Same person. So, like, let's go. We just saw this in Cour 3. They added a scene, a really nice scene, at the end of episode 39, I believe, when Ryuken and Isshin were at the graveyard and they were looking at Katagiri's grave. They were paying one last respect for Kane Katagiri before they headed off to the Varvelt, okay? That added so many layers of, like, somber sort of, like, well, Kane, this is it. This is it. We're finally maybe going to avenge your death, if that matters. I guess if that means anything, I don't know, but this is what we're doing, and we're hopefully going to do it. We're going to kill the bastard forever. It's not going to bring you back, but it's the right thing to do kind of thing. We're putting an end to this, okay? You could also add a layer of, like, they're in this cemetery. Ryuken wanted to pay his respects to his wife one last time because maybe he thinks I might not come back from this, right? I might go to the Varveld, and I might die, and, hey, I'll be with you, but, like, at that point, like, I might never be able to come back here again to your grave. Ryuken is a hard kind of dude, right? He's a hard man. He doesn't seem to laugh very much. But you know he goes to Kane's grave, like, pretty frequently to, you know, leave her flowers. Like, at least every single birthday, he's there paying respects to her grave very silently and very somberly and very stoic. But, you know, that's him. That is Ryuken, okay? So that adds a layer to it. Like, we can have a thing where it's like, let's go to the Varvelt. I might not come back. This is dangerous. Well, in the manga, we didn't really get that impression. In the manga, it was like, hey, just wanted to stop by really quick, give you this arrowhead, Uryu. All right, later. And that's it. That was it. We're out. We're done. Okay? So we got options here. We got options on the table. So let me know what you think. I want to see Isshin, Toshiro, Rangiku fight together. I want to see that. That's already a guarantee. Ryuken helping out with the fight with Gerard or heading with Uryu to fight Yuha alongside Ichigo and Renji. What do you think? By the way, sidetrack. I want to bring something up here. I don't know if I've ever brought it up before. I probably have, but it might have been a long time ago. Okay. I really like Ryuken's character design. I mean, the white hair, the glasses, the cross necktie, the suit. I mean, Ryuken looks cool as shit, okay? I love his design. Really badass character. That giant Quincy cross thing he pulled out when he saved Uryu from that Menos Grande that didn't look like any other Menos Grande we'd ever seen before back in the Arrancar arc. Oh, that's such a cool-ass scene, right? Okay. He's like, I am the last Quincy. I've always loved that about Ryuken. Okay. That scene in the fake Karakura Town arc, when Mizuhiro and Keigo and Tatsuki are all running away from Aizen in Karakura, right? And you see the mysterious person arriving. It turned out to be Don Kanonji. I remember, this is back in like 2009, 2010, whenever this was. I was in high school at the time. I remember reading the spoilers for that chapter, and they said that, oh, the person that arrived, the mysterious foot in the chapter, that's Ryuken. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, it makes perfect sense. He's like the strongest person left in Karakura Town that would still be there. It has to be Ryuken. And it turned out to be Don Kanonji. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Don Kanonji. I love some Don Kanonji antics any day of the week, you know? The Karakurai's or superheroes or whatever. But, like, that should have been Ryuken. That should have been Ryuken. Let me ask you a question. What the fuck was Ryuken doing the entire time during fake Karakura Town? So the fake Karakura Town goes to the world living. The real Karakura Town gets taken and gets placed in the Soul Society. What was Ryuken doing that entire time? Was he just hanging out in the hospital basement in the little Quincy bunker, smoking a cigarette like, this shit doesn't involve me? I mean, look, I could see him doing that. That's actually probably the fairly accurate description of what he was doing at the time. It's just, it was never brought up, and I've always been like, where were you at? What were you doing? You know what I mean? Maybe you could say something like, because all the citizens got put to sleep at the same time, the town got warped over, right? And some of them began to wake up when, you know, Aizen was walking through town and he was taking them all out and everything like that. Maybe you could say Ryuken was, you know, hey, man, the Soul Society decided to pick up my entire hospital and drop it down in the Soul Society, and, you know, all these people are sick. I gotta make sure they're taken care of. Don't even try to give me some bullshit like, oh, Ryuken was put to sleep with the rest of them. Oh, bullshit. Ryuken could resist that. So it's like, you know, I could even see him, like, interacting with the Shinigami on staff there. Like, what are you doing? You know, but, like, nah, I guess he really was just in the hospital, in the basement, smoking a cigarette and reading a book and just being like, yeah, sounds like a lot of crazy Ryatsu going on upstairs. Soul Reaper bullshit, none of my freaking business. You know, like, I can imagine him doing that. And then he feels Ichigo going Mugetsu and slicing Aizen in half, like, I probably took care of it. Or maybe Ryuken was, like, smart enough to know that, like, I can't thing, you know, that's like some weird fourth dimensional butterfly entity. I don't know what Aizen's turning himself into. Ryuken's probably not strong enough to deal with that. He's like, I'm not dealing with it. But, like, I've always wondered what Ryuken was up to during the fake Karakura Town arc. So if anybody can shed some light on that, I don't know if it's ever revealed in a light novel or some shit. I doubt it, but, like, let me know, because I've always been curious about that crap. All right. So anyway, moving back to Isshin. Let's talk about Isshin a little bit again, because I wanted to bring something else up. So when Ichigo starts fighting Yuha, right, there's that whole dialogue about, like, your father's not really Isshin Kurosaki, Ichigo. Your real father is me. Dude, Isshin showing up at that point wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, now there's a little bit of a problem in terms of, like, placement of the fight. If Isshin's gonna fight Gerard alongside Toshiro and everybody, and then going to help Ichigo in the fight, that happens concurrently in the manga. But like I said, the fight with Gerard is currently happening with the Vizards, and Ichigo hasn't even began to... They haven't even reached the throne room yet. They're still running off to find him, okay? So you can move some stuff around in the anime to make it work, to have Isshin fight against Gerard for a little bit, and then head off to go deal with Ichigo. In fact, ooh, you know what? Another way that you could actually do this. So you could have the moment where Ichigo fights Yuha, gets defeated, has his power sucked out, and he's just very dejected, and he's like, I failed, there's nothing I can do now, all my power is gone. In the manga, that's when Tsukishima shows up and stabs him with Book of the End and, like, get up, Ichigo, you'll be fine. Just like, get up, you wimp, you'll be good. You know, but, you know, in this version of events, you could have Isshin show up. And, you know, Ichigo's there and being like, he was right, you know, my whole life was a lie, my whole life's a joke. And then Isshin shows up and, like, headbutts Ichigo again, kind of similar to what happened in Fake Karakura, so that's maybe why they don't want to repeat it. But he's like, hey, Ichigo, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy, Ichigo? You are? Damn straight I am. Now let's get up and go kick his ass. You know, like... Yeah, you know, like, it was cool and all that during Fake Karakura, Isshin helped Ichigo in the Bankai to learn the final Getsuga. He, you know, held back the current and everything, but, you know, by the time it was Ichigo's time to fight Aizen, Isshin was out of it. He's like, Isshin is not going to help you in this fight. He's drained. It's just Ichigo versus Aizen. Well, why not? Let's, you know, I know it was Ichigo and Aizen and Renji in the manga, and that was a nice little group of characters, but, like, dude... Let's have more people fight against Yuha. Ichigo will still get the final blow on him. Uryu will still, you know, fire the arrow and all that stuff. That'll still all happen. But we can have Isshin there, and Aizen, and fuck it, Uehara, like, and, you know, Renji and Rukia could be there. Like, we could do a bunch of shit. We can rework that entire fight. It'll be fine. Oh, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for Cour 4, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Wanted to talk about Isshin, wanted to talk about Ryuken. Dude, we could see, Ryuken has skills, and they can pay the bills, all right? I want to see Ryuken. It wouldn't be a Volt standing, it wouldn't be a Letz Stil, but I want to see, like, ultimate technique Ryuken pull out. We've never seen that man get 100% serious, And I think that would be worth price of admission. You know what I mean? See Ryuken go full power, make a giant arrow, or like what would Ryuken's ultimate technique be? Let me throw that out there right now. Maybe he does have a Letz Stil form. Maybe he does have all that. Okay, he just never used it before or whatever. But like, what would his final technique be, and what would it do? Let me know about that down below. And I guess also, what would Isshin's Bankai be? What would Engetsu's Bankai be? I guess is something that probably most people really want to know about, and I kind of just didn't address that. But whatever, that's a discussion for another day maybe. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be teching on BAN-KAST. Next video, I don't know, give me ideas. Give me an idea to jump into the next one. I don't know. I do want to make a video on the visors, especially the best visor. And I'm going to make a solid video about this man, and that is Hachi. Hachi basically soloed the number 2 Espada by himself. I mean, yeah, Soifun was there to help, but if you really go back and watch that fight, Hachi again pretty much killed Baragon in one shot all by himself. So, you know, we'll worry about that later. But anyway, yeah, let me know down below some other stuff you want to hear me talk about on the BAN-KAST channel. Like and subscribe to this, Spotify, Google Play, main channels, Teching 101. You know all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Teching signing out. Bye, everybody.